Greetings everyone, it is Thursday and it is the week of successful sentences. Monday we looked at the basic subject verb object sentence structure. Tuesday we looked at using linking words and putting two of those sentences together. Yesterday we looked at combining more complex sentences with independent and dependent clauses, as well as our linking words. And today, we are going to focus on sentences, but we're going to look at information we add to sentences. Mainly, we're looking at adjectives and adverbs, but we're really talking about information. It's just that when we put information into those sentences, we're doing so with adjectives and adverbs. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into where to put what in successful sentences. Now, the problem is, and the reason I am doing this week of successful sentences is because, as I've already explained, many students are confident actually in speaking English, but because they do not stick to the SOV construction, they often speak in dependent clauses and they leave information out. Conversely, students often add too much information to one sentence and they don't add it in the right order, so they cannot be understood. This is just as bad. Today we're going to stick with the sentence verb object construct while adding more information in the right place so that you can successfully make complicated sentences. All right, let's do it. So I mentioned adjectives and adverbs. What kind of information can we add to a sentence? Let's start with adjectives. Now, what is an adjective? An adjective is a word that describes a noun. It tells us something about the noun. What's a noun? I'm sure you know. Let's review. It is a person, a place, or a thing. Examples of nouns are mother, president, house, Paris, car, coffee, and even ideas or concepts or feelings like love and hate. An adjective, as I said, describes the noun. It's a descriptive word. Examples are big, small, hot, cold, beautiful, ugly, heavy, and light. Now, we place adjectives immediately before the noun they describe. For example, beautiful mother, big house, hot coffee. This is very similar to Turkish. We say, yeni arabaya aldım. I'll repeat that. We say, yeni arabayı aldım. I bought a new car. Now, note, it's a new car, not car new. In some languages, such as French, we often put the adjective after the noun. However, this is not correct in English. We say, a new car. I bought a new car. We can also add adverbs to a sentence. What is an adverb? Well, it's got the word verb in it. An adverb describes the verb. It tells us something about the action in the sentence. And we have different adverbs in English. We have adverbs to say how it was done, where it was done, when it was done, and also how often it was done. Before we get into that, I don't want you to freak out. I don't want you to get scared. What is adverb? What is adjective? How are we going to put it all in a sentence? We're going to build, like the building blocks we discussed yesterday, we are going to build the blocks. Now, let's stick to what we know. Subject, verb, object. Who does what in the sentence? I drink coffee. I subject. Drink verb. Object coffee. In Turkish, kahve içerim. Now, we can say ben kahve içerim, but often we don't when we're just speaking in daily conversation. Kahve is our object. İçer is the basic form of the geniş zaman verb. And im is kind of our subject because it tells us that we're talking about first person, which is I. So let's stick to that. Don't get freaked out. We know this. Now, let's start with how it was done. To describe how something is done, we will use an adverb of manner, which is placed before or after the verb or after the object. In my example, I slowly drink coffee. Turkish, kahveye yavaş yavaş içerim. With the Turkish, we're putting the adjective of manner in between the object and the verb. Not like English, it's between the subject and the verb. Let's continue. If we want to describe where it was done, we use an adverb of place, which is placed after the verb or object. In my example, I drink coffee at home. Home is my place. In Turkish, evde kahve içerim. At home. Evde, English, at home. Now we're going on to when it was done. For that, we use an adverb of time, which actually can be placed at the end or the beginning of the sentence. It depends. Depends how it sounds. You're just going to have to use your judgment. I drink coffee in the morning. Sabahlara kahve içerim. In the morning is the time, when it was done. Now, to describe how often it was done, we use an adverb of frequency, which is placed before the main verb but after an auxiliary verb. The auxiliary verb, you might remember as an example, is when we say, I do eat pizza. Do you eat pizza? Yes, I do eat pizza. Remember when we did the do, does questions during our construct week, which I believe was last week, but it seems forever ago. All right, here we have, I always drink coffee. Now that we know what our adjectives and adverbs are, and I've given you some examples and told you where we place them, we're going to go back and add each of these adverbs and an adjective to the basic sentence we started with. I drink coffee. Kahve içerim. Let's go. We'll start with manner. I slowly drink coffee. Kahveye yavaş yavaş içerim. Now let's add place. I slowly drink coffee at home. Evde kahve yavaş yavaş içerim. So now we have more information in our sentence. We know how we drink it and where we drink it. We drink it slowly at home. Now let's add time. I slowly drink coffee at home in the morning. Sabahları evde kahveye yavaş yavaş içerim. Again, I've color-coded so we know the subject, verb, object, and our different adverbs. As I said before, we can put the adverb of time at the beginning or the end of the sentence. So, I drink coffee in the morning. In the morning, I drink coffee. Now let's add frequency. I always slowly drink coffee at home in the morning. Sabahlara evde kahve hep yavaş yavaş içerim. Now we've got all of our adverbs. Let's add an adjective. We're going to describe the coffee, which is our noun. I always slowly drink hot coffee at home in the morning. Sabahlara evde sıcak kahve hep yavaş yavaş içerim. Now again, I don't want you to freak out. Let's practice a bit. All right, okay, here's the first one. Geçen hafta kütüphanede sessiz önemli bir sınava sık sık çalıştım. I often studied quietly for an important exam at the library last week. When you look at this, you realize how opposite our word order is when we compare English and Turkish. We've got geçen hafta at the beginning and last week at the end. We've got the subject I at the beginning of the sentence, and we've got the çalıştım, the verb and the subject, at the end of the Turkish sentence. When we look at important, we've got önemli bir sınava, important exam. We put the bir to show an or to reflect an or a. That's fairly close, but everything else is very different. Let's look at another one. Geçen yaz sahilde rahatça güzel kitaplar sık sık okurdum. Last summer, we have it in the same place because we can put time in the front, remember? I, again, my subject is at the end of the Turkish verb. It's inferred with the dum, the m at the end of the verb. And I is after the time. It's kind of the main show. The subject and the verb are the main shows in English, right? Subject, verb, object. I often read beautiful books, right? Güzel kitaplar sık sık okurdum. Very different. And then, of course, we have sahilde rahatça. English, comfortably on the beach. Totally opposite. Again, I'm trying not to freak you out, but I think that if you really want to understand what I'm saying, if you want to go over it, then, just pause the video here, and also you can use the other example and just have another look at it. Because it's not easy, I know, but I hope that I have given you enough information to take away the point of this podcast, that we start with subject, verb, object. We always start with subject, verb, object. And then we can add more information, frequency, manner, place, and time. So tell the listener who is doing what to what, and then you can add how, where, when, and how often. Okay? So stick with subject, verb, object, and then add the extra information. You can also pause the video here. I've written the names of the adverbs in Turkish. So geçen hafta is our time. It's our zaman. Kütüphanede is our yer, our place. Sessizce is our biçim. It's our manner. Önemli bir sınava. It's our nesne. It's our object. Sık sık is frekans or frequency. Same word. We borrowed it in Turkish. And çalıştım is our verb and our subject. I, subject, often, adverb of frequency, studied, verb, quietly, adverb of manner, for an important, adjective, exam, object, at the library, it's our place, and last week is our time. Now tomorrow, I am going to deconstruct the sentence again. I'm going to go opposite. Because although I often studied quietly for an important exam at the library last week, it is a correct sentence. We're not really talking like this on a day-to-day basis. And I use this a lot in Turkish. Turkish can be very flexible when you're talking, when you're speaking. Not so flexible when you're, writing an exam or studying at university or writing a book. But I'm not doing those things. And I'm always saying to my students, we're not in university. You're not doing an English exam. You're not writing an English book. You're just speaking. Our aim is to communicate. We want to communicate. And that's the whole point of me doing this podcast. I am trying to teach you what to say when and how to say it. I did a lot of the how this week, and I think it's important because I'll say it again. Subject, verb, object, stick to that. And then you can add more information. Tomorrow I'm going to show you how to do that in a natural way, how to use what we've learned this week and to apply it naturally. I'm really looking forward to this. I hope you are too. Come back tomorrow. If it's in the future, click on the next video and have a look at it. Again, I'll say these are free English lessons. And if you want to learn English, they're here for you to learn. Subscribe if you want. Come back tomorrow if you want. I look forward to being here myself. I hope you enjoyed this version of Istanbul's Everyday English. Have a great day, afternoon, evening, night. Thank you very much. Goodbye.